Why am I not surprised, man? I'll tell you what, every time I turn around, Darren DeVries does yet another thing that solidifies every bad thing that I think about his ass.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. Welcome back into the Locked On West Virginia, baby. Well, we're talking a little bit of everything today. We're going to look at a couple other guys. 40 times today, I didn't get to do some comparisons from the other day. We're also going to look at Darren DeVries in the situation that's going on right now. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with him, but and also Ren Baker had a response that I want to get to as well about this, the Darren DeVries situation. So that's what's on the docket for this episode. You know how to get involved, guys. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below. I do pay attention to chat. Sometimes if the question is good enough, I will ask or at least respond to it. It just depends on what it is, if it's on topic, etc. This episode of Locked On West Virginia going to be brought to you by Game Time. And look, when it comes to Game Time, you need to download the app. And then create an account and use code Locked On College for $20 off your first purchase. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen and for being part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where we talk about your team every single day. Yeah, I'm sorry, Coop. Don't mean to make your eyes bleed reading DeVries. Okay, so Darren DeVries. We know, the history here. For those of you that don't, obviously West Virginia fans and Darren DeVries are at odds with each other, not because he left for Indiana, not at all. Actually, I supported that move. It's how he left for Indiana and then things that he did leading up to Indiana and even before that. So just a quick blow through of some things, and I'm probably forgetting stuff, but generally speaking, I think this is what most people have an issue with. So obviously there's just, and Ren Baker addressed this on a show. I'm going to get to it later. Suspected early Indiana talks, right? Rumors suggest that he agreed to join Indiana early in the season, possibly during the Battle of Fort Atlantis. Personally, I think what Ren Baker said only solidifies that more, but we'll talk about that in a minute. He abandoned the team post-loss in the Big 12 tournament, didn't return with the team on the plane after the Big 12 tournament, didn't ride home with them. No farewell to WVU Nation or the players. He left without saying goodbye or thank you to the fans or community. Tucker's shady shutdown. I had info to the contrary from Tucker's own family that he was able to play. I don't care who disagrees with it. I don't care who doesn't like it, whether you're inside, outside the West Virginia building. It's the truth. I wouldn't put it out here if it wasn't the truth. At the end of the day, I knew about Tucker's shoulder and told people in the media about it. And I have screenshots of it before it was public knowledge because of the family telling me that. So I knew that it was being thought about and talked about. And then even later, even further on, whenever Jeff Goodman brought up the fact that people in Tucker's class may get an extra year of eligibility, all of a sudden he was going to be able to play if that happened. So I don't buy the fact that he wasn't able to play at all. But I understand you make the decision for yourself, but don't make it sound like it was some season-ending thing, because it wasn't. And he got the NIL money, right? And then he's also eligible to play again at the end of this coming season, obviously, right? Players, reportedly felt undervalued under his leadership. I've talked about this. I've had two players reach out to me. We did an episode on it a few months back that they both said that they were promised certain things they didn't get. At the end of the day, things happen over the course of a season. Tucker did go down. So I don't hold that one against DeVries as much, but there were people that were upset under his tenure. Obviously, there are some other things that, like I said, no face to face with the players on departure day. That's a big one, right? Like that one should have happened. I'm sure if he had the chance to go back and redo it, he probably would. I try to be fair when I do this stuff, but every time he has a chance to redeem himself, he does not do so. And I don't understand why. And here's another one. Whenever he did one of his first interviews with Indiana, they mentioned they were going back over his career. They mentioned Drake. They mentioned Creighton by name. Then they skipped right over West Virginia. Didn't even mention the name West Virginia. Like it's like he's been coached not to even talk about it. Maybe I don't know. It's the wrong way to go about it. You know what I mean? Like pretending like it didn't exist makes people feel even worse. If you would just address it in some way, it doesn't even have to be very direct. Just yeah, we had that one. We had a good year at West Virginia last year. We feel like we should have done something. Like he has addressed the snub of the NCAA tournament a couple times, but he still never says West Virginia or anything. And now to beat it all, unless something's happened since I put this show in, no public congratulations for Jaheim White, for Javon Small, as he was drafted into the NBA. The same Javon Small that gave him 39 minutes a game, close to it. Or was it 30? I have to go back and look. It could be, maybe it was 36. It was either 36, 38, 39, somewhere in there. Basically almost 40 minutes a game. And was the best player in the league, in my opinion, one of the best. Some people would say that was due to Darren DeVries. Maybe so. Maybe so. He had a lot. Maybe he did have a lot to do with that. But I just feel like why not congratulate him? We've seen Nelson Hernandez come out and do this. We've seen others come out and do this. What is so hard about it? It's been close to 24 hours now. We're probably 3 or 4 hours away from it being 24 hours ago. So it's like at some point you don't have an excuse for not saying, hey, congratulations. I reached out to some people that said he has not received a phone call as well. So, and maybe Javon will address that. Maybe he won't. I don't know. Maybe he has called him, but I did touch base with some people that have spoken with him, and the word I got was no phone call from DeVries. So, we'll see what happens there. I hate reporting hearsay because it's not like Javon told me this. So, but I mean, these are people that would know. So I'm just putting it out there that it's not going to be a shock to anybody if he didn't say, hey man, congratulations. Like, thank you for all the hard work or anything. It's just on to the next. And I get it. That singular focus that you have on Indiana. Sure. I get it, and you got to have that to a certain extent, but to take 5 minutes and say, hey guys, I'm moving on. Hey guys, anything, right? And, or take 5 minutes and say, congratulations to Javon Small. I probably wouldn't be here right now with the Orrin for you. Just tasteless. It's insane. It makes no sense. I don't understand it. I really misjudged Darren DeVries, man. I really did. Another thing is, and I haven't even brought this one up because it's like personal to me. And, it's not really as big of a deal because I'm just a streamer, right? Like, I don't look at me as somebody he owed anything to, but he did tell me he would come on my show through his brother. But, I mean, that was I was told, right? I mean, like after the Tucker interview and everything, like everything was so good, and I was promised that that he was coming on next, and then that kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, and I'm not saying that he owed it to me. It's just it's yet another thing though, right? I don't know. Very frustrating, man. I think when I start to think about all the things, it adds up, right? There's so many small things that add up to like, okay, you're a sleaze bag at this point in time. There are plenty of successful ones out there, by the way, coaches that are sleaze bags. Some people would even say Rich Rodriguez is that. I'm not saying he is. I'm saying there are people that think based off his Arizona conduct and some other conduct that he is. Whatever. I get it. There are coaches that make bad choices out there. I'm just defending West Virginia's side of the table here. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing, man. I could even understand if I was on Darren DeVries' side of things that some of the reasons he did this. I'm not saying they're right. I'm not saying that, but I can also understand just being on to the next. I spent 1 year there. It wasn't very much. It was like a fling. It's like that. Oh, it's like the girl you really wish you hadn't hooked up with. Like that was a fling. I'm moving on. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to address it. I don't even want to pretend like it exists. I get it. But the girl that is being treated that way has feelings too. And in some ways, I guess that's how we are, right? We have feelings too. And I think we supported the hell out of Darren DeVries and made him the most popular guy in the state for sure last year because Neil Brown wasn't. So where do we go from here? I think at the end of the day, man, I'll probably continue to record. I told you guys several times on here, Indiana fans get on here and get mad. I'm going to continue to address Darren DeVries things. That's just the truth. I'm not sorry. I don't really care who likes it. But at the end of the day, man, he absolutely deserves the hate. Let's go to break, man. Ren Baker addressed some things yesterday about Darren DeVries, and I want to see if they match up. I think they do. We'll talk about it next. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by Game Time. When it comes to Game Time, they're doing it big. They always do it big, though. I mean, you guys know I have an affinity for Game Time. Have you ever decided to make that last-minute decision and head to the ball game with friends or family? Maybe it's game day and suddenly you realize you want to be in the stands. Well, that's where game day comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last-minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. Game Time even makes that possible. And look, Game Time makes buying tickets fast and simple. Two things I really like. Prices on the app actually drop the closer you get to first pitch, which is contrary to popular belief. People think the prices go up the closer you get. They actually drop. And look, they've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, panoramic. You get in the app, you can look all the way around. What is my seat going to look like today? And the lowest price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying, and they'll give you a refund over 100% of your original purchase. Game Time is the official ticketing partner of Locked On Major League Baseball, making it easy to browse the app and exciting for the Major League Baseball game. Maybe you're going to check out the Reds. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off today. Download the Game Time app today where you get last-minute tickets, lowest prices, and that's guaranteed, where you'll answer the question of all questions. What time is it? It's game time. In segment 2, we're going to crack a do and talk a little bit more about this subject. We'll get onto some tape as well, because Ren Baker addressed some Darren DeVries stuff on the Big 12 related channel earlier yesterday or the day before. I'm not exactly sure. I can't remember exactly when. So these were his thoughts, and this is a quote. I think the first thing I would say is, one, Coach DeVries did a really good job coaching the basketball team this year. He deserves credit for that. We should have been in the NCAA tournament. Still don't know how that didn't happen, but there were multiple other schools who had reached out to Darren because there were several jobs that were open before the season closed. I know factually that he declined to talk to those schools. The only one that I'm aware of that he entertained at all was Indiana. In situations like this, people will conjure up a lot of this happened and that happened, and I probably have more knowledge of the facts because I was inside. whether it was Tucker's injury or there's all kinds of crazy things that are out there. I believe that for whatever reason, he felt Indiana was once in a lifetime opportunity, and it was one of the few that he probably would leave for, and it just happened to open at the wrong time. I was disappointed. I think you look at recent history, this job has outperformed as well or better than Indiana. Felt like we were set up for building something special here, but ultimately, I think there's two things that you walk away from. One, there are certain things that are in your control and certain things that aren't. It was not my decision to make. It was his, and I have to respect that. There's nothing I can do to change it. I think the other thing that I would say is you can go down these rabbit holes of conspiracy theories, but what good does that do? I know that he articulated to me throughout the season. I know what he had articulated to me out through the season. I know the facts of what I do know, and life is short. I got two young daughters. I've got lots of things going on, and I'd probably not rather spend my time trying to speculate on conspiracy theories because the outcome of that, no matter what, would not be favorable anyway. He did add a hopeful note. He said, I think Coach Hodge was the right choice at the right time and has come in here and truly opened his heart to West Virginians and is quickly acclimating and getting to know the people and to become a part of the culture. Everything happens for a reason. So here's the thing. I get it. It's beneath Ren Baker to speculate on conspiracy theories. I get it 100%. You're an athletic director. I'm not, Ren. I'm not. And here's the thing, too. There's no way I could ever know as much as Ren does. There's no way, right? He's literally the guy in control of everything. But I was sourced in on this in a lot of ways, right? I mean, I feel like you don't get closer than the family of the coach. And, is it possible that I was lied to? I guess it is. But I'll say this as well, 15 or 20 other things that were said to happen, commitment, like I was plugged into all those commitments we were getting or, when they were happening, certain announcements that were going on, behind the scenes things from the Italy trip, just different things that, when Darren would call his brother, they would talk about, and then we would talk, and that's how that went. Right. So I think at the end of the day, I may not know everything, especially not as much as Ren. And I love Ren. I don't know if he loves me or not because of how, especially this topic and others that I've discussed. And I get that 100%. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to shy away from him. I have to do me. I can't worry about what he thinks. I can't worry about what the university thinks. If they never want to credential me, then fine. I'm not their type of person, but I'm not going to stop being me to appease anybody else, So that's just how I feel, guys. I don't feel like the credentials are needed anymore to make an impact on West Virginia at all. I really don't. I used to think it was the only way. But nowadays I really don't feel that way. I really don't. I mean, it's easy to say that because I'm not, they haven't ever said I'm banned or not able to turn down or anything like that. I've always just assumed I wouldn't get them, so I guess maybe that's on me as well, and other conversations I've had recently. So there have been a few things that make me think that. But anyways, I'm off topic. So the fact that he said, I know he knows for a fact that nobody else had contacted him, that was always only Indiana. Well, thanks, Ren. That actually helps me realize that it was always Indiana. You're right. All the way back to whenever we talked about, whenever they made the deal. Did you ever think maybe there's a reason? Maybe there's a reason now. Like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. There was an agreement in place. Why would he talk to anybody else? Why would he turn down the Iowa job that most people speculated would be a dream job in his backyard? Because the Indiana job was going to open, and that's a way more lucrative, way more financially stable situation. I get it, right? I mean, and it's, as far as it is blue blood in the historical sense of the term. So You know, a guy from the Midwest that grew up probably really watching Indiana and Bob Knight and those guys. I could see why you would have reverence for that. Absolutely. But exactly. So just like Mr. Barpool said, there's no way I can be convinced that Darren DeVries knew and agreed to go to Indiana when he redshirted his son to give him a year at Indiana. I think I'm reading you right there. So here's another thing on the Tucker thing. From what I was, I was told it was left up to him for the most part. And then when they realized, like I've said multiple times on the show, that it came out to me that it was just tendonitis was what it was. It was he'd had these back-to-back shoulder off-season surgeries and then rushed back to play. And then the structure around the shoulder really wasn't supported with a lot of muscle. And so tendonitis set in. And so that was where this discomfort was coming from. But I was also under the impression that it's something he could play through and play with. The 8 threes at Arizona was with that, right? So I have record of it. I've kept receipts because I knew, and I've showed it before, but I'll show it again someday if somebody wants to see it of me sending messages to media members way back in. Well, let me just look. I'll just look. I'll just show them to you now. I don't care. Hold on. I'll just prove it right now. So for those of you on podcast, of course, you probably can't. You probably can't see this, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. Let's see. How far does this go back? I gotta go. Okay, so all right. Not that I know I've showed this before, but let's see. We're gonna go. I think it's right. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to just pull a screenshot off because I don't want to put the guy's name out there that I sent the message to. That's not fair, right? So, November. Let's see. What is this? November 28th is what this date is. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to pull it off from November 28th. There we go. All right. So we'll add it up here. We'll put it in. All right. All right. Let's let this load in and then boom. Okay. So this is a message I sent on November 28th, 2024. I'm real close with the DeVries family. I've had both Jared and Dusty, Darren's brothers, my shows. I keep contact with them both weekly. I was told yesterday that Tucker is seriously considering shutting it down, that his shoulder is still giving me massive issues, hence why he's not as offensively aggressive. It's a situation where he's had back-to-back surgeries and has never really had the time to fully rehab it. It's always been a rush job to get to the next season anyways. Just wanted you to know, expect nothing in return. I really do respect you. Hope you forgive me for acting out of character. I was asked not to report this as Darren is letting Tucker make the decision. He can sacrifice and still play, but he's nowhere near 100%. And as you can see, this was around Thanksgiving. And so let's see. Let's see. When was that? All right. So November 29th, 2024, we played Arizona. And I sent that message on November 28th. He made 8 threes the next day. I remember now because I was like, oh my God, I look like an idiot to this guy. I just sent a message saying that Tucker's having all these issues. And then he makes 8 threes in a game the next day. So, point being is I knew about it before anybody knew about it. Anybody. Nobody can go back to that far back and say they knew. And I use that as credibility for all these other opinions that I have because there's nobody else that has that, right? I'm the only one because I just went outside the box, took a shot, and made friendships with that family. That then things fell apart, and I wanted to, I was getting attacked for my opinions. So, and since there's no relationship left there anymore, I might as well use this for something. That's just how I feel. Maybe some people will disagree, but at the end of the day, I have to support myself with my own credibility, which I know you guys know that I don't come on here and lie about things or anything, but I feel like that message there, from before the Bahamas says an awful lot about what I knew about that situation. And like I said multiple times, it was tendonitis. It was not as serious as what people let on to let it believe. He shut him down for what exactly? I don't know. This is a team that had already beat Kansas, had beaten Iowa State at a certain point. Like, even if you were resting him, this team had beaten Kansas, they'd beaten Arizona. They, there was the Gonzaga game. Like, there was so much going on for this team that you could project with Tucker what we could have been. This team easily could have went deep in the tournament with Tucker and Javon. There's no reason that you shouldn't have played them together other than you had a better opportunity pop up and you wanted to chase it. Fine. I get it. I'm not saying that you should be condemned to hell for that, but let's not pretend like it's not possible either. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. So let me know how you guys feel about it. Curious how some of you guys feel for sure. Like the video as well. Subscribe and we'll get to some other things here. I want to go to break really quick. On the other side, what we'll do is check out a couple guys I want to show you some tape on that ran some pretty fast 40s. We'll see what it looks like, compare and contrast. We'll be right back. It's Locked On West Virginia. All right, we are back here, Locked On West Virginia, guys. Okay, so Christian Hamilton is somebody that ran a pretty nice 40 time the other day, 4.5. I think it was 4.59 technically. I've wanted to watch him on tape for a while, and I just haven't. And then I looked on his page and noticed, oh, okay, well, he actually does have something on here. Even though it's from high school, I feel like it gives us some kind of idea of what he looks like. So let's see what he looked like in high school and see if we can project anything into college for him, because that was a nice 4.45. That's pretty fast. 6.1 or whatever it is. And once again, Jerry Rice ran a 4.5 and was one of the best ever. So I don't think that necessarily that being not elite speed doesn't mean anything at all. Actually, 4.5 is plenty good enough to get deep. You can take top off defenses. You can do a little bit of everything like that. There's a reason he was a 4-star kid. Oh, yeah. I like the length as well on him. So, and I know he's got a lot of upside, right? I mean, I think Carolina really liked him, probably wanted to keep him. That's a heck of a play there. So this isn't necessarily a cut up as much as it is just pictures and different things. I guess I should have looked into it, huh? A little more, but we got a couple plays here, I guess. Okay, here we go. Here's one. Little side step move, him running down the field. What's this from? Gosh, that's a crazy looking high school field. Okay, there we go. Now we got some speed there showing a little bit. Okay, well, I mean, it's not everything, but this is obviously his North Carolina commitment video. I thought maybe it would have a little more on there, but Hamilton's an interesting prospect for us, I think. What's that picture? I'll be paying attention. I mean, he had 7 catches last year. He had a touchdown. I need to turn my messages off sometimes. You guys can see my messages all the time. There's no secrets. I might as well just show them to you. Yeah, I've got sheets talking to me. What of it? Oh, boy. I don't know what's going to come of that. I guess I might as well tell you guys now that's wide open. I got a message from him, and I don't know what exactly will happen, but we're in preliminary some talks. So I don't know if it's going to be a locked on. They may. I just may push them on over to locked on because if I was looking at the fine details of some of their stuff, they don't support just individuals. So it would probably be something that I would give the locked on and possibly get like maybe a cut or so. I don't know how it works. All right. I've showed you guys Orrin Singletons a bunch of times on the show, like at least 2 other times, I think. So I wanted to look at this in the vein of, I would have guessed Orrin Singletons would have been in the same realm as Cam Vaughn. Now, look, by the way, he could be banged up. He could be sore. He might not be at his best. Like, there's a bunch of reasons that he ran a 4.5, 4.58 or 4.59 or whatever it was. It's not the end of the world. He's a great cutter. Like, he does so many things well. But I was expecting his time to be a bit faster, if you want to ask me the truth. So, and that doesn't mean he can't get there, just like some of the other guys. Like, this is like a one-time kind of deal. I don't necessarily think that these 40 times were put him in stone, right? Like, if you give a guy 3 chances, they can run dramatically different times. So, it doesn't mean that Orrin's not extremely fast at the end of the day. All right. So, I mean, if you just look, I mean, does that look like a guy that's running slow? I'm not going to say, because 4.5 is fast. It's definitely not slow. And football, and we talk about it a lot too, like football speed is football speed. Some guys have football speed. It's hard to explain what that is, but it's a real thing. It's definitely a real thing. Okay. And, whenever I watch Orrin play, man, and just the cuts he makes. But I mean, you see, once he gets to the open field, he's pretty damn near gone. So, there's a lot. And it's the thing, too. Orrin had, he and Rodney both had the 10-yard splits off the 40. Very good times. They had very fast times, which means they're faster in short spaces inside 10 yards, which makes a ton of sense. That means their acceleration is better. Maybe not their top end speed, but their acceleration and all that is a little bit better than others, which is why they're in the slot. They're quicker. Just makes total sense. What is this? The year before? Is this before he went to Eastern Michigan or something? I'm just now realizing this. I'm not sure. This might be JUCO, but that's fine. I mean, it's still seeing it. The highlights. Anyway, I just wanted to look at a couple plays from Orrin Singletons as well, because I didn't get a chance to get to him on that list the other day. And for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, a list of 40 times came out for West Virginia players. It was kind of leaked accidentally, I think, by Jaheim, but a bunch of guys' times were shown. I think I still have them. Let's see. I don't know if I deleted them or not. Let's see. No, here they are. So actually, we can just look and see what they were again. So Hamilton was 4.56, and then Orrin Singletons was 4.5. Basically, 4.52 is 4.5, as close as you can get to 4.5. So very close, very close. All right, guys. I think that's all I got on this one. I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here. I appreciate you guys for joining in. It's been a fun episode. Make sure you like and subscribe, share, and a whole 9. And I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen. But you got to make the Locked On Portal with Brian Smith your next one. He's got the latest rumors and portal entries and signings. Be the most informed fan on the rapid changes of the college football landscape. And find the portal on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. I'll see you guys later. Have a great rest of your day and have a great weekend as well if I don't see you today. I'm out.